Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the Chatty the Chump channel, and we are back with another Fantasy Premier League video. Another week, Game Week 7, we're going to review Game Week 6 as well, talk everything fantasy related, so let's get right into it. But before we do, make sure you like, subscribe and turn on notifications for Fantasy Premier League videos every single week and much more. But anyways, let's get into it. Okay, now then, let's review last week first, and it was a very good week. We had some brilliant players, and two in particular, which was Gabriel, who actually has a yellow warning on him. So yes, he does have a yellow warning, but I think he'll be fine for this week. But in terms of last week, he was very good. Obviously, scored the header, got 3 bonus points, and a load of defensive contributions. And of course, the main man, Haaland. Now, do I regret not triple captaining him? Of course, I do regret it, because any triple captain which gets you over 40 points is a win in my eyes. So I am a bit disappointed I didn't do that. I don't know, I weren't thinking. But, I mean, it was a risk. It was a risk, and he scored his 2 goals in like 90 minutes plus, so it was risky, but he proved to be a good. I still captained him, of course, and the rest of the team was alright. These two really just carried me, right? Haaland and Gabriel, they carried me. Everyone else, well, kind of blanked, unless Richard. You don't count 4 points as a blank. I probably... it's close, 4 points is a nice blank, at least. But Donnarumma, he conceded 1 goal, he would have got 6 points if not. Right, I was glazed him last week, but I still think he'll be good. He also has some decent fixtures coming up, so he should be alright. He won't be going. Of course, Gabriel bringing the points. Richard's very good. I mean, Palace are just on a great run right now, so it does make sense why he is there, getting 4 points, and, you know, he's consistent. Van de Ven, not great, weren't a great performance for Tottenham. And Buemo blanks, we're going to talk about him in a bit, because he's on thin ice. Mo Salah blanks again. It's not the start I would have liked for Salah, but it is what it is. Hopefully he'll gain more points as we go on. Kudus blanks, unfortunate, but still played well. Joshua King blanks again. Elliot Anderson gets those defensive contributions like he always does, but he got a yellow. And of course, Haaland bringing it in, and Gyökeres as well is on very thin ice. So, let's move on now to the transfers. It was a solid week. Beat the average by a lot. I'm very happy. But now, let's move on to this week. So, Gabriel, he's got a knock. I think he'll be alright. I'm recording this just before the deadline, by the way. It'll be out after the deadline. But there's only going to be 1 transfer this week. I don't want to minus points, right? And it might be a bit of a boring one to you lot, but there's 2 players who never start, which is Simon Moore and Alex Moreno. He's just been, you know, he's not... I just brought him in as a 4 million, but he never starts anymore because he's not even in the Premier League. So, with that being said, we are going to bring in a favourable defender from Leeds United. He's been racking in some points, and that is Joe Rodon. 7 points against Bournemouth. He got 4 against Fulham. You know, he does start, and he is cheap as chips. He will be on the bench though. The only thing I don't like about having players who start every week on the bench is that if they bring points, I'm going to be like, oh, why didn't I start them on my team? But it's always better to have someone who is actually in the Premier League. So, yeah, he will be joining. And then next week, well, actually, next week's going to be interesting because if some of these people blank, which we'll talk about in a sec, they could be going. But it looks like Rodon's going to be joining. Some that may have gone in other people's teams, and Buemo. I'm only really keeping Buemo because he's got the easy Sunderland fixture, and I hope he does something in that fixture, otherwise he will be going. And same with Gyökeres, blagged against Newcastle, blagged against City. He needs to get something this week, for sure. And he has got West Ham at home. I'm expecting to get something out of that. But now then, let's lock in the transfer. Rodon into the team. There we go. Now, let's pick our team for this week. Gotta be quick. The deadline is 6:30. I mean, I've got 2 hours as I'm recording, so I think I'll be alright. But it looks like it's gonna stay pretty much the same, except for maybe one in and out, which I'm gonna do. Gabriel will stay on. I think he'll play. He's only got a knock. Let's hope he does. Donnarumma, Brentford away. Not an easy fixture, but he will be staying. Richards, Palace have been amazing. Can we talk about Palace for a second? They have been absolutely amazing. And this guy in the defence has been brilliant, honestly. I mean, if you haven't got him, he is a great player and a cheap player, and he is brilliant to have. Van de Ven has Leeds. I hope Spurs get some points against Leeds because I do have 2 Spurs players. Salah against Chelsea, but I think, top class players score against top class teams. We could see Salah score. We'll talk about the captaincy in a sec, but I don't know if there's even much to talk about. And Buemo will stay. I hope he brings some points in. Now, Joshua King, he's been disappointing, man. And he's got Bournemouth away. As many people say, never bat the early fixture. And an 8 o'clock on Friday is more than an early fixture. So, I'll be gutted if he scores. But I don't think he will. I'm going to sub Joshua King out. But who for? Now, there's really only 2 choices, right? Lyle Foster or Rodon. I think Foster could get a goal, against Villa. Plus, and I'm not replacing the 4 million centre-back. Foster's been brought to the team, right? And I hope he does. He is the striker for Burnley. He will be starting over Joshua King. If Joshua King scores, I'm just going to cry to sleep because, oh man, that would be very horrible. I mean, I'd probably transfer him out just in anger. But Joshua King leaves the team and sits on the bench. Esteve had a terrible performance last week. But he's a bench guy anyways. We've got Anderson, who will still play. Newcastle away is a tough fixture, but hopefully he gets at least 4 points. And these front 3, where I don't mind if Foster doesn't do anything, Gyökeres has got to do something. He has got to. The captaincy will stay with Haaland, obviously. Just look at these and some of the fixtures coming on. And Brentford away is a tough fixture, right? And I think Brentford could get something out of that. But Erling Haaland has to be captained on the form he's on right now. He is just a machine, basically. He is a machine. And there's no denying that whatsoever. So, let's save the team. Boom. There we have it. Fantasy Premier League Game Week 6 team. there it is, right there. It's a pretty decent team. I'm hoping to rack up the points. You know, some game weeks deliver loads of points, some don't, you know? And who knows what this one will bring. But the goal is to just keep beating the average. And that's what we're trying to do. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'm hopeful it'll be out before the Bournemouth v Fulham game starts. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for all new Fantasy Premier League videos. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.